And thank you, Minister, for coming in today. And I just firstly would like to welcome the announcement by the Taoiseach of the establishment of an all-island civic dialogue on Brexit, and also just to say, Minister, that my father came from a small island off North Antrim called Rathlin Island, and I know that he would have a lot of concerns today if he was alive, and I think, you know, one of the concerns is that the border may become harder than it is now. Some of the harder-line Brexiteers in Mrs May's Conservative Party are already reportedly agitating to pull out of the EU's custom union, a move which could force the imposition of custom checks on goods travelling between the north and the south. So does Brexit mean the creation of a physical international border between the north of Ireland and the Republic of Ireland? For example, the imposition of passport checks and custom posts that will impact on trade and tourism. Will this be repartition? The Brexit issue is highly politically sensitive for the political parties which are tied into the efforts at building an agreed post-conflict society. Indeed, Brexit will help reinforce the division of the island. The 1998 Belfast Agreement itself was premised on both UK and Irish membership of the European Union. How far will Brexit impact on the north-south dimensions of relations between Stormont and Dublin? Although the UK provides a highly important internal market for northern goods, European markets also matter. A Brexit might mean the UK no longer has access to the single market, and in the northern context this is hugely important, as 55% of manufacturing goes to the EU and most of this to the Irish Republic. Does a Brexit impact on competitive advantage in the UK? Given that the north of Ireland is a border economy, anything that interrupts and hinders the free flow of goods and labour impacts negatively on the northern economy. It has been estimated in a recent report for the Northern Assembly's Enterprise Committee that the northern economy would lose some €1 billion per annum following a Brexit and face a 3% decline in GDP. Is this sustainable? Currently, the operation of the EU's Common Agricultural Policy accounts for some 82% of farm income across the north. The figure of aid for the period between 2014 and 2020 is estimated at some €3 billion. Is it to be expected that the UK Treasury would replace these funds with UK monies following Brexit? If it doesn't, what would happen in the farming and related agri-food sectors? The north of Ireland has benefited considerably from structural funds and peace monies. Indeed, some €2.4 billion was received from the EU between 2007 and 2013, with a broadly similar amount being available between 2014 and 2020. This would stop following a Brexit. What would be the implications for Northern Ireland as it develops as a post-conflict society? Getting any enabling legislation for Brexit to the Northern Assembly would appear extremely difficult, even if it could achieve a bare majority, which is not clear. The nationalist parties would invoke the petition of concern mechanism to turn it into a cross-community vote, which they could then block. Westminster might decide to pass over the devolved legislators, but that itself is liable to change the terms of the political debate, and the more so because the convention in the north of Ireland since the Good Friday Agreement has been that any significant change to institutions can only come out with cross-community support. The impact of the border will become an issue again. What assurances can we get that there will be not a return to a hard border? The nationalist people of the north felt abandoned by the partition of the island in 1921. I would like to be sure that they do not feel the same sense of abandonment now when they are forced to leave the EU despite voting by a majority to remain, and that the Irish Government will do all in its power to ensure that the will of the majority in the north will be upheld. I feel this is important as one of the main points in the Good Friday Agreement insists that the majority in the north must vote for any change in the status of the north, but their vote to remain in the EU is now going to be ignored. Thank you very much.
Thank you.